Hello guys, I'm back, and this time I got a Stamina Necromancer build for you. We're looking at a medium armor build, high mobility, high regen. Damage is pretty good, but damage is definitely not the main focus of this build. This build is meant to give the Necromancer what it lacks, and that is mainly the movement part of PvP. This is mainly, the regen. Necromancer has some nice regen passives, but for some reason it just feels weird. I talked about this in a different video. So yeah, I gotta stack a little more regen into my builds to make him feel good. And this build definitely feels good. I have a lot of sustain. And the way we play this build really helps with sustain, and I will get into this later, explain why the sustain feels better on this build than it did on other builds. So yeah, let's jump right in. Our Magicka, 15k, that's pretty good for stamina build. We definitely need this. Um, Looking at the skills, you'll see why we need so much Magicka. The health, 23k, very nice. In medium armor, that's pretty good, I'd say. You could up this a little more if you want, but I think this is just fine. Our stamina looks a little low, but it's pretty fine. 32k. Um, I don't think we need more. Keep in mind, I only have the Undaunted Metal 1. If I get the next stage of the passive, I'd be sitting at 3% more stats overall. So we're going to be looking at, like, I don't know, 33.2 or something stamina. So we get a little more stats as soon as we get all the Undaunted passives, but it is fine the way it is now. Looking at the stamina recovery, 1800, not bad, but definitely not the end. We have a little more. Even let me buff up with the potion as well. Yeah, look at this. 2400. That is some nice regen here, and adding the Cyrodiil resource buff on top of that, we're sitting at, I think, 2700 or something like that. A lot of regen, and we definitely need this. We're moving around a lot. We're sprinting, dodging, blocking a lot, so we definitely need the regen. Our weapon damage coming in at 3800, not bad. With the infused weapon damage enchant on the back bar, this goes up to, I'd say, 4300 probably. So pretty decent weapon damage, and if we get into the sets, you will see why the weapon damage is not really a good indicator of how much damage we do on this build. Um, we got some hidden damage on this build, so yeah. The spell and physical resistance. Let me buff up here with my armor buff. So yeah, we're looking at 16, a little over 16k, almost 17k on the spell resistance. Pretty basic bitch for a medium armor build. Like I said, this is a movement-based build. You are not supposed to get hit, so building tankiness would be a waste. So yeah, this is just standard medium armor build. 2500 crit resistance. I think a good value to be sitting at. So yeah, I don't think we need more. You block, you dodge, and you will miss a lot on this build. So try not to take the damage, I'd say. We are, of course, vampire, and this is important for this build. Um, I would not recommend doing this without vampirism. We need it. We need the sustain, we need the tankiness, and we need the movement speed. Really, really important. Armandus, of course, the serpent. We want the stamina regen. Really important on a build like this. And of course, dubious Cameron Throne, again stacking some regens on this build. Really nice. let's take a look at the sets. We are running my new favorite set, Shield Breaker. What a great set that is. We talked about this a lot. I think it's one of the best sets in the new patch. Just all around great stats, the stamina, the recovery, the weapon damage, and then 6% bonus damage. And if we attack someone with the shield, we get another 6%, so 12% bonus damage. That is really nice. Really helps against those shield stackers. But it works on any shield. So even a DK that just pops a fragmented shield that's really small would basically take more damage when we hit them. Or if you have this one, that's a CP passive that gives you a tiny little shield. I think it's like 600 damage shield. Like, it's basically nothing. But if anyone has this shield on themselves, you will hit harder. So I think this is a great set. And even if someone doesn't have a set, 6% extra damage is indeed a lot. That's why it's my new favorite set. And we, of course, pair this with my old favorite set and still favorite set, Slimecraw, of course. Slimecraw basically does the same. It gives us 8%, a little more, just flat damage increase. So that's really nice. So if we attack someone with a shield up, we get basically 20% extra damage on top with the Slimecraw Shield Breaker combo. So that's why I said the stats on the character sheet don't really tell you how hard this build can hit. Having like over 30k stamina, having over 4k weapon damage, and then adding basically 20% of extra damage on top of that. That is insane. That's a lot of damage. So yeah, Slimecraw, of course, also with the crit damage, with the crit chance, really nice. I think these two sets go super well together, and yeah, awesome combo. I would always go for that. That's almost like best in slot for damage now. And the next set is Shackle Breaker. What a great set this is. One of the most versatile sets in the game for Magicka, for stamina, for hybrids. Doesn't matter. The stats it provides, I mean, look at it. Weapon damage, spell damage. We don't need the spell damage, but I mean, it's whatever. You craft it once, you can use it on all kinds of tunes. The stamina recovery, the extra stamina, really nice. And the extra Magicka, very important on this build. The Magicka recovery also pretty nice to have, especially with our Necro passes that also give us 200 extra Magicka recovery. This stacks very nicely, and on this build, we really need the extra recovery and the extra Magicka for our mist form. We have a nice mist form uptime. We can mist a lot, which is really important because we, of course, get the tankiness and the speed from it. So I think a great choice for a build like that, and it just gives you overall more bulk. And one of the main reasons I went for this set is because we have Swift on our jewelry, basically giving up the robust. I personally like robust jewelry a lot, or arcane for that matter. Um, but giving up the stats on the jewelry, I thought Shackle Breaker might be nice because we get a little bit of the stamina back that we lose for going Swift. So yeah, I thought that's probably the best way to go. Swift, of course, giving us the nice extra movement speed increase, which is so helpful in PvP. Um, on our body pieces, we of course run the infused on the big pieces, the impan on the small pieces, as always. I would recommend stamina enchants on all of them, except maybe the big pieces. If you want to invest the money, you can go for some tri-stat enchants, like I have on my Slimecraw. Um, that just really helps round out the stats. But if you want to go for more damage, just go plain stamina enchants. That's absolutely fine. And for our weapons, we have, of course, the infused backbar bow with a weapon damage enchant on it. very important, getting some nice weapon damage boost out of this. And on the front bar, Nirnhound disease damage, which is nice because, of course, disease damage can proc um, the healing debuff, the minor healing debuff, and we have the blast bones that can trigger the major healing debuff. So major and minor on this build really prevents people from recovering from the burst, which is pretty nice. And yeah, of course, on the jewelry weapon damage and chance, we want to stack some damage because, due to the low stamina pool, we give up a little bit of damage, so we got to make up for that in our enchants. So that's the sets. Let's move on to the skills. On our front bar, we have Blighted Blast Bones. This is, of course, our very unreliable burst damage, I gotta say, but it's so nice. When it hits, and it hits hard. And of course, like I said, the healing debuff, really good. 30% less healing, that's a lot, and it really fucks people up. So having this, really nice. I hope they fix the blast bones so they hit a little more reliably, but until then, it's still fun to use. Next skill is Skeletal Archer. This is, of course, our main summon for this build. Just summons a little archer that attacks people with a bow. The attacks scale up every time he attacks by 10%. So at the end, we should be looking at like 80% more. So probably somewhere around like 5.5, 6k damage on the tooltips. Basically, in PvP, this hits for anywhere between like 1 to 2k, maybe 2.5k on people. It's really not bad having the extra pokes from the archer. It helps, and of course we get our sustain passive from having the archer up, so that helps a lot. The next skill is Reverse Slice. Of course, we need an execute on this build just to finish people off. Really nice. If the burst comes together like the Blast Bones and a Dawnbreaker, and then you just put the executes in, that's a lot of damage. And especially, like I said, with the healing debuffs we have on this build, this is super strong. Always need an execute. Next skill is Critical Rush. um I just love having a gap closer. Crit Rush is awesome. It deals quite a lot of damage. 40% extra damage based on the distance traveled. So if you hit like a nice max distance crit rush, that can hit really hard. But of course, this patch, we had some changes to gap closers, so now you can cast crit rush and other gap closers on like any range. There's no minimum range anymore, so you could just basically point blank crit rush someone. And sometimes I actually go for a little bit of a crit rush spam, light attack crit rush, just to whittle people down a lot. Um, it's nice. I like it. So, and having a gap closer just really helps to seal like a nice burst combo sometimes, especially if you go for um, a blast bones into a bow heavy um, poison injection, crit rush, light attack, reverse slice. That's a lot of damage. If you can pack all these attacks into like a tiny window, that's really nice. That gives you the kills. The next skill, Rally, of course. We need a major brutality buff on this build since the Necro doesn't have one, which is, I don't know, I don't even know what to say about that. Not giving a class such an important buff is, I don't know, a little disconnect, I would say. Zenimax, give the Necro some basic buffs, please. But of course, we also get the healing over time and the nice burst heal. So Rally, great skill for a build like this. And our ultimate is Dawnbreaker of Smiting. I went with this on the front bar just to get a little more extra damage from the fire skilled passives, and I think a cheap ultimate is really nice to have because all the Necro ultimates are pretty expensive. Yeah, so I felt like I needed something that's more reliable, that's up more often, that's more easy to use, quick, and brutal. So yeah, Dawnbreaker Smiting, really nice for a nice burst smack on people. On the back bar, we have Draining Shot. This is our main CC on this build because, of course, Necro doesn't come with a decent CC, at least one that's like easily usable, single target, instant. So yeah, we need the Draining Shot, and of course, it deals quite a decent amount of damage and gives you a pretty decent heal as well. So Draining Shot, great skill. Next skill we have is Beckoning Armor. You could go for the other morph, but I think this is quite good. We have enough sustain. We don't need um, the cost reduction on our summons, so I went with the Beckoning Armor. Um, the pull is quite nice. You know, pulling people in that attack you is quite nice. It CCs them, but it's pretty unreliable. You never know when it's going to happen, but if it happens, it's nice. So I think it really helps, especially like people sniping you. They get pulled in, they get CC'd, they get really confused because they usually don't understand what just happened. So I like having this, and of course, it's our main armor buff. So great skill. Next skill is, of course, Poison Injection. We need some form of like damage over time on this build, and this also acts like kind of as a passive execute. So the poison dots start ticking harder the lower your enemy's health is. This can take quite hard. So on a low health enemy, your poison injection can take for like 3 to 4k a pop. That's a lot on a damage over time ability. Really nice. So yeah, poison injection always great to have. The next skill, Elusive Mist. This is really what brings the build together. This is what gives us the movement speed. We of course can also use our bow dodge roll to get the major expedition, but this is, I don't know, I like it a lot more because we can just basically get um, a Magicka costing speed buff and then focus our stamina on sprinting, so we don't have to do like the dodge rolls and spend our stamina on those. So we get a little more sprint time out of it. But of course, in sticky situations, this is of course a great skill to just reduce incoming damage. It gives you a little window to just think about what your next move could be, watch your opponent, and you of course you cleanse all immovable effects on you. You cleanse snares off of you. Um, if you get rooted by something, you could just cleanse this off with a quick cast of Elusive Mist. You can just cancel it right away. And that's something that I do a lot. I just cancel it with a weapon swap and then just sprint. Or if I really got to get rid of like either a Templar bubble, a snare, or root, I just pop this real quick. And if you have a Zerg on you, um, misting is oftentimes your only option to stay alive. A nice mix of mist form, block, and dodge will get you out of a lot of sticky situations. So I love this for the speed, for the tankiness, and just overall, just for the gameplay. Canceling a mist form early is something that's really nice because people don't know when you go out of your mist form, so they usually don't have a burst or a CC ready. So you just basically fake a mist form, go out of it right away, and then hit them with a burst or a CC. Confuse them. So I just for the entire playstyle, this is such an important skill. That's why I say you should definitely be a vampire on this build. Do not try to do this without being vampire. Elusive Mist is basically the most important skill. And the next skill is of course Resolving Vigor. We want a little more extra healing. Um, the combination of Rally Vigor and the Draining Shot heal is pretty strong. This can provide a lot of healing, get you out of a lot of sticky situations. So I think this is a great skill to have. And for ultimate, we went with the Pestilent Colossus. This thing just hits disgustingly hard. It's it's such a great skill. It's pretty expensive, but once it's up, you can use it to just do massive amounts of burst damage. Have a blast bone ready, have it run into a group of people, put the Pestilent Colossus on them, and then just execute. Just cut people down with this. I call this the Big Daddy because it is the Big Daddy ultimate of this build. I like it a lot, but like I said, really expensive. That's why we have the Dawnbreaker on the front bar, just for a cheaper ultimate. It is quite hard to get the Colossus up. If you get pressured, you might just always want to go for a Dawnbreaker because it's cheaper. It's easier to hit. You don't have to, fuck around with the ground cast abilities. They're a little bugged right now. It's a little hard to cast, so you basically have to stand still to cast it somewhere. It's hard to like dodge cancel this cast of like a ground cast ability like the Colossus. But it's like with any ground cast ability right now, so they're a little bit bugged. I hope ZeniMax fixes that. So yeah, that is the skills. Let's move on to the champion points. In the red tree, we have our standard layout: 51 Ironclad, 77 Resistant, 43 Hardy and Elemental Defender, and 56 in Quick Recovery. In the green tree, we have 37 Warlord, 19 Sprinter, 56 Mooncalf, 22 Arcanist, and 43 Tenacity. 56 in Tumbling, and 37 in Shadow Ward. Of course, we're dodging a lot. We're also blocking quite a lot, but this is not perma-block, so more dodge, less block, and you'll be happy. The damage side of things, in the blue tree, we have 56 mighty, 77 piercing for the nice big flat 5k physical penetration. 56 precise strikes because we want to hit hard when we crit. And then the rest is just pumped into Mastered Arms. Just get the direct damage up. We don't really have damage over time on this build except for poison injection, and that's just a tiny part of the build. So I would say definitely just pump everything into Mastered Arms. Don't bother putting anything in Thaumaturge. We don't really need that. So yeah, that's the champion points, ladies and gentlemen. That's the build. I hope you like it. I will leave you with a little bit of PvP footage of me. We're starting out with a little, a messy little Zergy tower fight on the Elsweyr bridge. Me and some other EP were just fighting some AD, and after that, two little 1v1 clips, so you can see how this build is meant to be played. You can see me using all the strengths of this build: the speed, the mist form, the nice burst to get people down. So I really hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any videos I put out on this channel. We're doing a lot of build videos. And also make sure you follow me on Twitch because I'm streaming every day, and we'll be doing a birthday stream really soon. I will give you some more infos on that soon. So yeah, make sure you follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye. I don't even know what's going on. Can't see shit here. Come on. Knock him off! Knock him off! Knock him off! Knock him! Yes! I got two of them off! Woo! Hit him! Hit him! Slaughter him! Yes! Get him out of here! Pieces of shit! Punish him for zerging! Oh my god, I got it. Come on. Heal him.